Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Splat Interviews. It's been a while, but I'm Nox. I'm joined here by Len. Len, tell us a bit about yourself.
Hello, I'm Len, or you see me as DrawingDudeLen online. I'm a Splatoon artist and a high-level V-Blaster player for Osmosis.
And what kind of things draw you into competitive Splatoon? Everyone tends to have a very different story. What's yours?
Right, I'm gonna start at the beginning with this one, since it's a pretty long one of how I got into Splatoon and to the comp scene as well. It all started in E3 2014, where I actually watched the first teaser for Splatoon, and I thought that shit was very stupid, and I really liked it. And my dumb kid brain was like, I like dumb things, and I really want to get into it. So it was just that I asked my brother to pre-purchase the game on the Switch digitally, or not on the Switch, on the Wii U. Sorry, on the Wii U, and I got it day one when it came out, and I just nonstop playing it. My 12-year-old brain would just constantly just be filled with like Splatoon. Like that's really all I cared about during that time, and other games as well. But it's mostly just Splatoon during that era. And for getting into comp, I got into comp in 2018, but I didn't get Splatoon 2 until late 2017. Uh, I really also, like I said, I played other games. Those
Mm-hmm.
other games like bring out a competitive drive in me. Like I used to play Overwatch when that was really popular, and I also played a lot of Doom 2016 when that came out on the Switch and also on other consoles as well. I played just a lot of shooters that were fast paced, and they're cool and just flashy lights. And what, Splatoon, it's like that. And there's a comp scene. I like
Yeah.
Splatoon a lot, so I just got into it, and from a few friends as well. And yeah, that's how it came to be.
That's amazing. One of the things I always find really interesting with Splatoon, especially, it's the only shooter I've really played, but whenever I watch other ones, it's always like, that seems kind of slow.
Yeah, a lot of other
Why are the
shooters.
matches 20 minutes?
Oh
That's
yeah,
silly.
they're kind of slow. Like that's why I don't really like playing well, I still like playing like some tactical shooters. I sometimes play Battlefield whenever I'm like I want to just slow down a bit and not really think too much. But I do like my fast paced shooters. And Splatoon is like it's like in the nicest way possible. It's like the sugar rush. It's like it's so fast, but my brain can
Yes.
process it. I love it, and
It's
I need more of it.
it's such a it is colors and lights coming at you as fast as they possibly can.
Exactly. And well, again, it's you know what? I think that's the best part about it. The pace of the game is what makes it. I mean, there's a lot of aspects, but I think the pace of it's also what drives people in as well.
Yeah. So, when you think back to your competitive journey, what are like the highlights to you? What are the moments that you look back on and go, for where I was at then, that was so huge for me?
Damn. Believe it or not, but I did play in comp in 2018. It didn't last that long because
No,
I kind
2018
of
comp players, as another person that got into comp initially in 2018, it was an interesting time to jump into it.
yeah, it was. But although I won't say I didn't have any fun, my first team
Oh, I
was
had a great time. It was just interesting.
oh yeah, exactly. And it was also new because like most of like the veteran players are now adults. Like
Yeah.
they were all grown up and like damn. We look back in ourselves in our old time, we're like, damn, I that was me back then. And you just had to just turn away, look away, but you can't stop looking at it's so cringy, but it is what
Yeah.
it is. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Uh, yeah. For that, like my first team was they're originally formed as Squid Beak Incorporated, but they rebranded to Team Symphony. It was with Rin, Battle, Helix, all of them goodies. So it was
Hmm.
a very fun team, low level team. But I left like pretty early because I wanted to focus on myself
Yeah.
and all that jazz. But yeah, rock paper scissors meta is where I kind of left it off, and that meta was peak. And then everything, I swear to God, as soon as I left, the meta's just like got worse. I don't know what happened. Well, I do know, but I don't understand decision makings.
Well,
And
yeah.
it just seems so weird, and I didn't really want to get back into comp, but I kept in tabs with it
Mm-hmm.
and whatnot during those times, which did help me. Like when on the offset of me wanting to get back into comp, which I had an urge, I just waited.
Yeah.
That's all I did.
Luckily, Splatoon 3 came out, which I know everyone loves to complain about, but it's not missiles and armor. Like, I know that's a very low bar, but it's not missiles and armor. It's different bad specials that are less egregious to me.
Yeah, they're they're bad for a different reason. If you like playing to not interact, Splatoon 2 is right there. But I like
Yeah.
interacting, and shit. If I die for letting a Zuka bot just paint over me and Zuka me because I let it happen, and I'm gonna be like, you know what, you got that, but I'm just letting you know. And 3 seconds later, when I come back, I'm kicking your ass.
Absolutely.
But yeah, Splatoon 3 did came out, and I was like, this is my game. Like
Mhm.
I didn't even need to see any gameplay outside of the original tier. I was like, this is my game. This is for me. I already know.
Nice.
And yeah, it all just came out from there. I think after my first land, or my second land, it was a Riptide 2022. That was
Mm-hmm.
my second land. Um, and that's when Splatoon 3 came out.
Yeah.
That exact day.
I do remember
And
that LAN. I drove to it. I had brought a monitor and a TV screen so that me and one of the people I was rooming with could just set up in the room and play.
yeah, it was honestly, I don't that's one of those memories where I'm just like, I don't think it can get out of my head.
Yeah, that's a
Because
fever dream of a
everyone,
memory.
exactly, because you're just around people you in a community you already know,
Mm-hmm.
and like they're all playing the new released game, and we're just talking about it, and the game is buggy as shit as well. It's like, damn,
Yeah.
this is awesome.
They did for some reason choose to run a day one LAN for Splatoon 3. I remember
It-
that taking them 20
oh,
years to get set up.
that was so messy.
It was. I'm glad they did it. I think it's such a special event, but man, that is the messiest thing
It, it,
you can do.
exactly, yeah. But all in all, like I still had fun with it, and I did, and everyone else did too. And
Mm-hmm.
honestly, and I also fought, and I think it was in the Splatoon. Yeah, I was in the Splatoon 2 portion of it. I fought one of the teams I joined later on. I fought Dembo IHOP.
Nice.
Uh, and after Riptide, I did join the team, and from then on out, I think that's just where like I solidified myself as like a comp player,
Mm-hmm.
because a lot of people know around the mid-level, low-level scene, they know who Dembo IHOP
Oh,
is.
absolutely.
And then once getting on the team, we just kept pushing on through like other mid-level teams as well,
Mm-hmm.
and even Pop Gun started recognizing my name, and that meant something a lot to me. It's like, oh my god, Pop Gun recognizes me. That's so cool.
Yeah.
And to the point where he's like, it almost feels like he appreciates the craft. Like, of
Oh,
course, like he knows about them though, but at the same time, it's like he recognizes me as an individual player. And that's another highlight for me. It's just like during uh I think it was Ludi, the last Ludi season, not the current one we're in that ended recently, but the last one, season
mm-hmm.
14, where Popka was like, yeah, this guy is really good. And since like Len joined, they got Div 3, and I was like, that was also another highlight that also solidified. I was like, oh, I'm I'm the mid-level player. I'm
Yeah.
getting better. It's just there's also showing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it felt good.
So what kind of things? So obviously you've grown a lot as a player pretty recently. So what are the more recent events that you would want people to know about?
Well, the most recent events that's I think where I just like I knew that I was like, yeah, I'm officially high level now. Definitely Genesis X. I think
Mm.
that was it. Um, of course, I played with Pepe, love Pepe. I played with Erito, I love Erito and Fincher, love all three of them. They're great. They're good friends. Uh, and we just kind of it was kind of like a semi last minute decision to me to just go and play in it.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, you know what? I don't really want to go because I want to save it for Low Tech City, which is in a few months later. But you know what? Like, I was like, fuck it. I'm just gonna try it, and we just practiced for 2 months and a half or a month and a half, we even played in a recent Squid Junction before the tournament with the same players we fought against in grand finals, and we beat them in Squid Junction.
It was Red Sun, right?
It was Red Sun, yes, plus Pika Dave. And
yeah,
I was like,
I'm very familiar with Red Sun as a team, or what they were.
Yeah, and then I was like, okay, if they're beatable in Squid Junction, there's no way that we're not making a top 3 in Genesis.
Fair, yeah.
And lo and behold, funny enough, my boyfriend also lives in California, so he opted in to join and not play the game. He's a casual player, but he joined to watch, and I think like this is probably the greatest highlight of my career was just winning Genesis X in general. Just everyone's just yelling our pickup name and all that jazz. All that, like it felt so, I still have it in my brain. That's how like memorable it is, and I just ran off the stage and just hugged and just kissed my boyfriend. I was so happy for winning it.
That's so fun.
Yeah, and I think that solidified itself that like that was it. Like now I'm officially in high level.
Mm-hmm.
I have steps to go to like get better, but that solidified it 100%.
Yeah, and I mean with Splatoon, there's always so much room to improve. I don't think anyone's truly hit a ceiling yet. I don't think there's been a limit reached, especially not in Splatoon 3.
Oh yeah, 100%.
So that's always one of the exciting things to me. How do you go about improving? What kind of goals do you set for yourself? Do you set goals?
Yes and yes. But of course, as you do, complete your goals and whatnot, some of their goals and ways of improving change.
Yeah.
And my current goal or my way of improving has always been I just want to fight stronger players. That's pretty much it. And I had that since I was in my low level era. I think now since my mind is usually more calm and matured and I'm not really like evolving every 3 seconds over the most littlest things, I now like see that better, and I take every ounce of criticism that people are actually trying to tell me into account, and I try to think about what I can do in the next game or the next set to execute it better or whatnot. But recently, because I did say like, oh yeah, I did what I want to do, right? I went from Div 5 Ludi to Div X, winning Div X as well, which is also another good highlight for me. I felt happy about that, and just overall, like fighting now the gods of Splatoon in the West is like, okay, what now? And that kind of gave me like a small roadblock. I'm like, what I want to do as a goal.
I mean, the answer's obviously become one of the best.
Right, exactly. But I think for me, it's like, because I overcomplicate things when it comes to my thought process. Like I just tend to like, damn, what if I fuck up? What if I just mess up enough to where I don't get to that point in my career?
Yeah.
And for me, what I thought about was that I still have the mindset of just, I want to fight stronger players, but it's not just that. I don't want to just fight them. I want to beat them. I want to take them down.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because fighting them is one thing. Like I could fight them on a normal Tuesday. Like that's just whatever. But if it won't really mean anything if I don't beat them. You know what I mean? And I think especially at this point where people are like, they're watching me and they want to see me do well, I want to do well myself. You know what I mean? And that's how I want to do well. So, that's my goals and how I look at improvement. It's just take it in the things I can learn from the things I messed up on and do better. And of course, just win.
Just win. It is that simple in theory.
Yep, it is that simple. But I don't want to, like I said, I don't want to when I think about it, I overcomplicate it, but making it simple does help me get things straight.
Absolutely. I totally know that feeling. There are times where I'm looking to improve at a lot of different things. Lately, I am Hades 2 is a game in early access that I have a problem with, known as, for some reason, I like to make the game harder. For some reason. Which, if you know the Hades series, it's not easy to begin with.
Yeah, it is. It is hard from from watching it and playing a little bit. It was like, damn, how the fuck?
So the max sphere you can go to, which is like their system of making the difficulty harder in the game, is 55, and it has been beaten. I have currently pushed to 47 and am pushing for 50. So that's where my improvement energy has gone. Probably should go towards the things I'm working on in my masters, but you never know where you're going to want to work on things. And for some reason, I've chosen Hades too.
It's endurance. Video game endurance will help you with other types of stressors in life. Trust.
Yeah, I mean, truly hate getting high fears in Hades 2 is I'm hoping the RNG likes me and I don't mess up my execution. I'm hoping for so much and expecting to get none of it. It is just entering into a million runs and just hoping for the best. Like the 47 fear clear I got while watching a Netflix show at the same time, because I was just like, maybe if my brain's a little not here, I won't get as stressed about it, which did work. But also, I am also a person that listens to podcasts while I play Splatoon. My brain is strange.
Hey, you know what? Like I said, everyone has their different ways of like focusing and locking in. You know what? You got it. Like I said, you beaten one of the roadblocks you had before by trying something different.
Exactly. It's all about experimentation. I truly think that if you feel super stuck in the game or in any game, throw something at it and find out if you like it or it helps. And sometimes just adding in something you like more makes a big difference.
It really does. It really does.
So notoriously, you are a blaster player.
Yep.
What drew you down that path? What brought you to blasters?
This is honestly, like, out of all the backstories I've given, all the lore, this is honestly the most simplest one. I used to play 2 weapons in Splatoon 1. I used to play Crackle and Roller, and I used to play Aerospray PG.
Okay.
But I don't. Those weapons just don't correlate. I just want to say what weapons I played before. Last year. And what really stuck with me was watching a GG Gabriel video about blasters. He was just hitting
that's
directs.
a throwback.
Yes. I was like, wait, this weapon's kind of heat. The funny part is, it wasn't a video about regular blaster, it was range blaster, but I couldn't tell the difference. It was fucking stupid. I was like, you know what? This kid is also, he had Disruptor and Killer Whale, and I loved it. And I never dropped it since.
Yeah. I mean, it is a fun weapon class. It's not one I have ever fallen in love with, but I see the appeal.
Yeah, it is. It's strange though, because there's a lot of people, jokingly and non-jokingly say this weapon is easy, or they just don't know how, or the other half where they say they just don't know how to use it. I just find that very funny, because I've been playing this for a long time, to the point where it's like I can't fathom how you wouldn't know how to play it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But if I picked up a weapon like Splatlings, where I'm just like, how do you play this fucking weapon? I just crumble a bit. So, I can understand why people just don't understand how to play the weapon. That's the point of different classes.
It is.
See which one fits with you.
And sometimes Splatoon 3 comes out and you don't know what weapon you want to play until they've stopped adding things.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I think I've landed on Tetra, Viduli, and Parry, and Slosher. Who knows? We'll see if that sticks. Nothing else has stuck so far this game. There was a long Splatling phase. Something will stick eventually.
Splatlings are good right now. I mean, some of them are. Not all of them. Some of them.
If pencil wasn't good, Splatlings suffer from, if there's a charger that's good, they are unusable.
That is true.
They suffer.
That is true. I will not disagree with that or deny that. That is just straight up pretty much a fact.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's just how the weapon classes play out. Like, obviously, if you think back to some key moments in Splatoon 2 history specifically, there are moments where Splatling players made it work against Chargers, but Kaji was different. Not everyone's Kaji.
Exactly. Like, not everyone can be the god of like the weapon that they're playing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I mean, Kaji versus Brian was such a cool backline matchup back then.
Damn. I don't think we're ever gonna get anything like that.
No,
Again.
I truly think our comp scene peaked at Ghost Gaming and Kraken Paradise. Don't get me wrong, I love the FT1 years, I love Starburst, I love NA teams, and it's probably just because I got into Splatoon through the EU scene as an NA player, which, interesting.
That is interesting.
Yeah. Yeah. So I will always be an EU supporter. It has become college basketball to my brain where it's like, well, I like the EU teams. I'm rooting for them.
Well, you know what? That's basically like, you know what? As long as we have someone to root for somebody, or like, I mean, they're not really opposition.
Exactly.
You're rooting for someone. That's not the norm to root for. So you know what? We need more people like that, so that way we can keep the scene alive. You keep doing it.
Yeah, I think we need more rivalries, either between players or teams, but in like a college basketball or like professional sports way.
Yeah, in a friendly way, not like actual like life.
No.
Ways.
No, in my hometown, which is a college town, there would be fires in the street when we beat our rival team.
Oh my god.
I wanted to be serious. They were happy fires. College students would jump over them. They were having a great time.
Fires are dangerous.
Yeah. Don't jump over fire or something. I don't know. Drunk college students can do it if they want, I guess.
Oh, and they're drunk? All right. Yeah, that's a formula for disaster.
If it were being done out of anger, it would be called a riot. But because it's with excitement and joy, the whole town is just like, yeah, that's funny. We like it.
You know what? Emotions do change the subject of what you're doing a lot.
Yeah. A fire in celebration could, in theory, be good.
In theory.
In theory. I don't condone jumping over fires. It is something that happened a lot in my hometown with the college students, not with the people that actually live there.
Yep, with the college students. It's always college students doing crazy shit.
It really is. So what are, like, obviously your new goals are to work towards beating the top players, fully establishing yourself at, like, the top of the top, I assume.
Yeah, it's that, because, I mean, it's pretty obvious. I like the spotlight being on me. It's a huge ego boost for me.
Yeah.
And also, once being a shy, timid little kid to being just like, you know what? If someone just like, if someone like makes fun of me, I'm just gonna be like, yeah, that's kind of funny. Like I'm at that point where just like any publicity is good publicity. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So, that's how much I think it's just fun to be in the spotlight. Like, even if it's just for like fun banter and whatever, and being established as a top player, even if like, because there's some people out there who do believe that I am a top player, even if like I haven't really done anything that's like huge to consider myself as a top player, but they still think that way because I won Div X and I won Genesis X. I won a lot of the tournaments with X's in it.
Yeah, it seems to be a trend for you.
It really seems to be a trend. Yes.
You made it into 20XX. You made it past the qualifiers.
I did that. I did.
That's pretty good.
Yeah. Not the complete result that I completely wanted during the actual.
Yeah, but to be fair, but not teams to feel too bad about losing to generally.
Exactly. And like I said, I think because of that. Oh wow! Honestly, this is a good segue to my thought process.
Yeah.
Of why I want to be up there in the first place. I think I had like a semi crash out. Like I kind of just lost my momentum for losing the Moonlight because it was just like, damn, what could I have done better to where, because they're a bracket demon for me. I'm not gonna lie. They're
I
a
mean,
bracket team.
Moonlight's a bracket demon for a lot of teams. They play a different. They actively aim to be counter meta pretty often.
Right.
They play a different pace. They play a different speed. They play different strategies than most other people. They pulled out a bamboo. Like, who's ever ready to see a bamboo? I love it, but nobody's ready for it generally. So a lot of that learning to fight Moonlight better often comes from learning how to adapt even faster.
Right. And that's true. That is completely true, because I did not expect them to do that. And it's
or
so surreal.
How to break them into playing your pace.
That's also true. But
yeah.
You know, that's something also. There's just a lot of, like I said, there's lots of room within that.
Yeah.
But, yeah. After I had that like epiphany, like, damn, what could I have done to do better? It was just like, I know what to do. It's just doing it.
Yeah.
It's hard. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
And I do think, because like I do talk to Moonlight like a decent amount. Like I consider them pretty decent friends.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, I'm happy for them that they won, that they beat me. But at the same time, it's like, damn, I'm greedy as shit. I want to beat them.
Absolutely.
So I think that's where my mind is right now. Like that's where I'm just like, I want it. Like I could scratch them. Like I took games off of them, but taking games off them is not enough to win. You know what I mean? No,
it's not a win. It's getting closer to a win, but it's not a win yet.
It's not a win. And I feel like I am just like at the cusp of it at that moment. And I think once I do beat like a top team and whatnot that like actually practice with each other, because I could beat like +1 pickups and whatnot.
Yeah.
But
it's different when they practice.
Exactly. If they practice with each other,
or if they're like, the other thing I will add there is, or if they have played together a million times. Like if I see Kyo and Biscuit in the same pickup, I kind of just go, okay, well, that'll be good.
Yep. You already know, like that's a crazy like pickup.
Yeah.
It was like a pickup that's just full of like +1 players like you've never seen each other before. They just do it. It's like, yeah, I could beat them. But it's like, it's not the same as beating a pickup or a team that synergizes with each other so well, because they have that chemistry,
mm-hmm.
right? And it's like, dang, I need to see what clicks with them. I need to see how I can click against them, so that way I could,
mm-hmm.
take a good crack at them.
Yeah.
And I do want to become a top player, but not to the point where it's just like, oh, I need to like, cause there's some people who do like, are very emotionally invested in the game. Oh, I'm emotionally invested as well, but I do have my limits, and I think because of recent like losses that did get to me on the level, it's like I don't know how I lost.
Mm-hmm.
I think I had to reevaluate how I think about things, and it has caught me in a better position to wanting to improve it.
Absolutely, and that's a big thing. Like losing, never fun, but you can learn so much more from a loss than a win 90% of the time.
100%. Losing is a good teacher. It does
feel miserable in the moment, though. That I can sympathize with.
Oh yeah, 1,000%. It was that was not one of my. I mean, it was also better that I did not have any recordings of it, because I was like, I wasn't mad, I wasn't screaming, but damn, you've ever heard me so depressed?
It hurts sometimes. I think, like, I get it. It can be a physical pain thing. It's not fun.
Oh yeah, 100%. But like I said, I'm growing. I'm gonna learn, and I'm gonna do better. That's the plan.
What are your ideas for getting better? How do you go about that process? What are the actual actions you try to take generally?
What's funny?
Mm-hmm.
I said this a few times on my Twitter, but they're usually lies. I said that. So believe it or not, I don't really have a coach. I never had a actual coach.
Yeah.
That told me things I didn't know. I never studied the game.
Those things can be pretty important.
Yes.
I think you might have hit a wall in needing somebody that can help you with those things, is what it sounds like.
100%. And I think at this point is like, yeah, I'm just kind of doing the same shit, and I'm not really like getting any value out of it.
Mm-hmm.
Like I could fight or scrim those good players, but like if I'm not getting any valuable information, then what the fuck am I doing? You know what I
Might
mean?
be time to start looking into coaches.
Right.
There are a
And
handful around.
they are. I'm hoping to find some really strong top level coaches, or at least those who can give me some advice or general advice to improve my game strategy and whatnot. But yeah, also I started VOD reviewing too. Like
Whoa.
I mean, yeah, I know, just crazy concept to VOD review your scrims and losses. I know
it does help.
it really does, and it's funny because I do VOD reviews for other people who want to get better with Blaster, but I never do it for myself.
Classic.
It may be an ego thing, or because I'm just lazy. I'm usually lazy. I hate looking back.
To be fair, I'm supposed to VOD my commentary, and I go, what if I just don't want to hear my own voice? And then I don't do it.
Yeah, exactly. It's kind of like secondhand embarrassment to look back like, damn, did I really do that?
Exactly.
Because in the moment, like feelings are better than just looking back to remember it.
And going, yeah, that got a triple, but it shouldn't have. I still shouldn't have made that choice, probably.
Exactly.
Sometimes the best moments that do end up winning you the game are still bad choices. And that's the funniest thing about Splatoon to me, is sometimes you get rewarded for a bad choice.
Hey, you know what? You could apply that to real life actions too.
That is true. But you should, but especially when you're VODing, you should be able to at least recognize and go, yes, in this case, that worked out. Here are the reasons why it worked out. Maybe I need to be more careful before I drop on 3 people in the future.
Right. And you know, that's the benefit of VOD reviewing. And like I said, I'm thankful to have more like friends to look back and talk about the things that I've been doing, because I think I haven't played Splatoon the past few days because like I said, I need a reset.
Oh, and that's so important. Yeah.
I just need a reset so I don't like just
burn out.
Like burn myself out from not really enjoying playing the game, because I enjoy the game. I know a lot of people say, oh my god, I hate Splatoon. Like, well, you guys can be miserable. I like the game.
It's pretty fun. It's got silly colors on the screen. Why are you so mad at the silly colors?
Exactly. It may not be the game that you want, but it's the game that we got.
They put a crab tank in. If you take a step back and think about crab tank, it's really funny.
Exactly. Like, it's the only game. Why have to be that? But yeah, it's just like I do enjoy the game, so even if people don't, I would rather just like sometimes play just to play. But like I said, recently I've been playing too much to the point where it's like, okay, I'm not really gaining anything from this. So I kind of took a step back. I chilled out this whole weekend, and I just chilled.
You say that while you were still watching people play.
Oh, well, that's a different thing.
Oh, interesting. For me, they have a lot of overlap.
Really?
Yeah. So I'm going to say mildly crazy statements because my brain works in ways that I do not even get to understand. I don't get to control that much of what I focus on. But one of the first ways I learned to pay attention to where people were in Splatoon was I would watch Brian the drummer, the classic, play specifically with Olive and Ghost Gaming, and I'd watch tournaments from Brian's perspective and just be like, where can I see people? Where do people like to be? How do they like to move? So I would always watch from the anchor position because I would get annoyed with the official tournament streams not showing me enough information. Right,
yep. It do be like that sometimes.
And I did that before I started playing comp, so I don't know what was quite going on there. Sometimes you simply start watching competitive Splatoon before you play comp at all and are probably like still a B+ player at best.
Hey, that's the start. That's the start. It is. And it does help you. Like I said, some insight is better than no insight at all.
I will say, this is a personal opinion. I do think if you're like in Little Squid League level, you don't need to worry that much about VODing yet. Just work on improving. Don't worry about VODing that much.
Right. And honestly, that could be a lesson for a lot of people. Not even like, I think that's a lot of people as well, because who do want to improve, because like I said, it's a lot of people who want to badly improve are very stressed out because they want to improve. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I think for a lot of people, they can just chill out for a bit and just soak in, like just watching other people play, like take the VOD views, but not too seriously, but just
Have some hands on the game time. Figure out your actual mechanics a little.
exactly.
Not overthinking them, just letting your hands learn the motions you should do. Even more.
And it works wonderfully for some people. It works wonderfully for me too. But back to what you said about like the overlap, and that's understandable. Like I do think of it the same way like that, but I don't really like. It's less for me when I learn. It's less of like, oh man, I should do this to me. It's like, oh, that's interesting. I never knew you could do that, or I never knew that this was an option that some people would take in this specific situation. You know what I mean? I don't tend to, like I said, I mean, even I do overthink about it. I don't tend to overthink to how to apply it to me most of the time. I'm just like, that is interesting, and I like watching it. And also, it's just good Splatoon to watch, anyways.
Yes. 20XX was pretty good Splatoon.
That dude,
Metro did some pretty cool stuff.
Metro just, in the nicest way possible. They just. I can't even say what I'm going to say, dude, because I'm just stunned at how well they were playing.
Yeah.
I just, oh my god.
They do not tend to be players I have traditionally expected that out of. I think I will now. I don't think, to be clear, my impression of them was all that they were incredibly good, but a little impulsive for most of those players. So it was interesting to see them get to use that impulsivity almost to their advantage.
Yep. It was honestly like, just like, even if like watching it, because we're so like, for a few months now, we're in the midline meta. And since the rarely like overtuned midlines have been nerfed, I don't even know what meta we're in. And I think that shows because you've seen a non-Ninja Squid roller beat a range blaster and a slosher in grand finals of a Western like major. Like, how does that happen?
Interestingly, it turns out.
I think that's why I was like so invested in watching. Is like how, like, I mean, obviously it's timing. It's like obviously like knowing when to fight and when not to fight. Because if you just do it aimlessly, they're just like a lot of times Kyo and Co will just kill you for it.
Yeah, you can't go in purpose. Yeah, if you go in without a purpose against any Kyo situation, generally not going to go great for you.
Nope. But
especially not when playing with, like, I don't know how much I think very highly of Gray. I think Gray is a very smart player. I also think that about Bagel and Biscuit and Kyo. To me, that is just a pickup of a lot of the most... I think they are very smart players that have created a lot of things for our scene, is my opinion of all of them.
Yeah, I honestly would agree with you too. They're if you're in the comp scene, right? You would know if you heard Kyo, Gray, Biscuit, you would probably say, oh, the top level players are going to be winning this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They are the faces of top level. Like, even if you disagree, then, well, I don't know. You just don't play comp scene.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe you haven't watched in a few years.
Yep. Like, they are the faces of top level in the West. And I think that's
rough for EU only getting Gray in there.
Yeah. Gray as well. +1 French player.
Yeah.
And it's just like, it's impressive at how well they didn't drop a single game in grand finals, not once.
I know. Metro truly pulled off some unexpected stuff there.
Yes.
Because the earlier set I had commentated from them that day, they had it was 4-2, I believe. Going to Metro, obviously. But there were the Inkblot TC game was very dominated by Gru, like exceptionally dominated by Gru, which is so interesting. And to be fair, I do associate, and this is a very outdated association at this point. I do see TC and go, oh, FT win.
Yep.
Yep. Super outdated, just ridiculously outdated at this point.
It's a golden memory to let you know that these players know what they're doing.
Yeah.
It's not the full roster that he win.
Yeah, a lot of, I mean, most of them have retired.
Yeah, sad to see them go. But you know what? I'm glad to see you still have some old buckets still just still playing the game and
Exactly.
kicking ass.
It's so
Uh,
great.
yeah, and the new gen as well, like the new gen. Like
I
I
think
don't want to say Zenith and Atomic, sort of new gen, but they
compared to Kyo, they
well,
are. Compared to
yes,
Kyo
right,
and Gray, they are.
yeah, and it's just oh man, I don't know. That's where I'm just like that is so good, and my brain is like I want to be that good. Damn it,
Yeah.
I want to get there so badly.
I mean, it seems like it's starting to become within your reach.
Right. It's like it's close, but at the same time, it's like if I can't grasp it, then I didn't obtain it yet. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
exactly.
But
But it means
yeah,
that you're starting to be able to scratch against it, starting to be able to see it within a reachable distance.
100%. And that's why I love this game. I love watching good Splatoon. I
Mm-hmm.
love watching players grow and get better. I love just watching the crazy upsets, the crazy like unexpected moments from this game. Like
Oh,
you
Tent and
know
Kraken interaction.
that that was just the most okay. I like when I saw that I was I was streaming it with one of my friends or one of my teammates. I was
Mm-hmm.
streaming it with my pencil player, Bab, and I was just like, "What?" I was screaming the entire time, like, "What? Why did that happen?" Like, first off, not
Yeah.
escaping the charge slash. Sure, that happens sometimes, but dying through the shield against crack. Okay, yep,
Yeah, two of them died through the shield against Kraken. That's
yes, and then
and K-Bot was just hung up on the Kraken falling through the map, and I was like, been there, seen that. How'd they get
yeah,
killed through the tent shield? That's
yeah. How did
new.
it? That's
That's a tent shield. That's supposed to be the safe space.
that is so unreal. And then Moonlight took the setup. Hey, that was the last game, right? And then Moonlight took
Second to
the
last.
second last. Yeah, Moonlight did good team. Like I said, Black Lotus did
Genuinely,
a
I
good
think
team.
there was a world where that Hagglefish game could have turned around if things hadn't gone so ridiculous. But that's how it goes. That's
Yep,
Splatoon.
that's Splatoon. That's the Mickey Mouse portion of Splatoon. But
You can't
yeah,
discredit the Mickey Mouse portion. It is a significant portion.
it is a significant part of the game. I hate to, well, honestly, I don't hate to admit it. Sometimes there's just funny shit that happens,
Hmm.
and although, and honestly, I think that keeps it from being stale and boring.
Yeah, I mean, luckily, it's not all missiles and armor. I mean,
Yep.
are there ridiculous glitches in Splatoon 3? Yes. Do
Yes.
I think they rushed it? Probably. COVID happened during it.
Mm-hmm.
Key part to think about with Splatoon 3's development was impacted heavily by COVID.
Yeah, that was the unfortunate part. But hey, you know what? I still loved how the game turned
Yes.
out. They still cooked, even if the ingredients were limited during lockdown. But hey,
Hmm.
they did what they could do.
They did. And
Um,
I'm interested in seeing what the next Splatoon will look like. I don't know when we'll get it because they're also the Animal Crossing devs, and Animal Crossing New Horizons sold a lot.
yeah, I'm pretty sure they switched. They split the
Oh,
development
did
for
they?
Splatoon. Yeah, I'm pretty
That's
sure.
great because it wasn't for a while. And those are too big of IPs to be in the same.
Yep,
They can't live together. That's too much power.
they they can. That's too much for the developers and for Nintendo themselves. I'm
Yeah.
not gonna lie.
Yeah. Well, because they really want both of those to be early releases on consoles typically.
Oh yeah, they do. Hmm.
Animal Crossing, you get one iteration per console, so fans demand it pretty quick.
Yep,
And Splatoon
that's
fans,
true.
admittedly, I wouldn't be upset if we were on Splatoon 2 for a. Not sorry, not Splatoon 2, Splatoon 3 for a few more years. It wouldn't devastate me, but also I wouldn't mind getting a new game sooner than that. I would like it to not be rushed this time. All of the other
I
iterations have been rushed in some way,
agree.
shape, or form.
I agree. I'm handshaking you right now. I second that so much because holy shit, the amount of things that happen rushed with the series has been insane.
Yeah.
Good word.
Yeah. Okay. So, a couple last quick questions. How do you find time in your life to do things that aren't Splatoon? Because everyone has a million other things they need to do. How do you find a way to balance them?
Right. All right. So if you couldn't tell by my Twitter handle or all my other handles online, I also draw for fun and for a living somewhat. Uh so with that, I try to find like a healthy balance of what I want to do throughout the day, and if there's anything to do throughout the day, because I don't really do much outside of Splatoon and art. I mean, I do work out, but that's something that's like not really something that I'm like super interested in outside of like just doing it.
Mm-hmm.
But let's just say if I have someone something, oh, you have to do this by the week. I'm like, all right, let me see how I can implementing art and Splatoon into that. Because I do draw a lot, a significant amount. It's like I said, it's just what I just like to do.
Yeah.
It's like the non-video game portion of Splatoon, basically. So yeah, with that, I kind of just spend most of my times drawing from not on playing games,
Mm-hmm.
or if I'm not drawing, usually doing something else that's usually like chores, running errands for my family, just
Mm-hmm.
cleaning up stuff and whatnot.
Always
But
more to do.
yeah, there's always something to do. Even if you're laying down in the bed thinking about what to do, there's something you
Yeah.
can do.
Although sometimes you should just go to sleep. Sometimes it is just time to sleep.
That's true. Even if I say it's so weird because like I actually don't like oversleeping. I hate oversleeping.
I don't like oversleeping. I do like my 8 hours more and more as I age.
Oh, 8 hours. You don't want to hear my hours then because they're kind of bad.
Oh, mine used to be worse. I'm just in my mid to late 20s now.
No, yeah, that's understandable. And honestly, I kind of been feeling that too, where I like having more hours to sleep, but I still don't like oversleeping because I do want to be. My brain is in a constant state of wanting to be productive in some shape or form.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I'm like doing scheduling. I just hang out with friends. I just talk to them. I just do
Yeah.
like whatever I can to like make sure I do something that my brain can enjoy as the day goes by. Because sometimes, as people say, the days are pretty slow. I feel the complete, or days are going by fast. I feel the complete opposite. I think these days are going by very fucking slow.
That's fair. I tend to be a mix of both. When I look back
Yeah.
on the days, they seem very fast, but in the moment, they drag on forever.
Yep.
But
For
yeah,
sure.
I think we're going to wrap it up here. Where can people find you? Where would you like them to find you?
Damn, I gotta do socials. All right, so
Yeah.
I mostly on Twitter and Blue Sky if you want to see me just talk about random shit and post random shit and post art. And my @ is usually DrawingDudeLen. I have a YouTube and Twitch. I'm mainly on Twitch for streaming. I sometimes post on YouTube, also DrawingDudeLen. And my mainly for art stuff, I have a TikTok and I do post my art archives on Newgrounds, also DrawingDudeLen. Literally every single social media site you'll probably find is just DrawingDudeLen. I'm basically everywhere.
That is the classic. Well, thank you so much for joining me. It's been great. Hopefully, I'll be doing these more often. We'll see. I'm not good at scheduling things.
And that's okay. Improvising is the way of life sometimes. And thank you for
Exactly.
having me. I appreciate it. This was very fun.
Of course.